Good morning. Pastor Rusty here. December 14th, 2021. Can't believe the year's flying by so fast. Was doing a little studying this morning, still thinking about the word shalom and peace and contentment and wholeness and put together right and assembled and correct and all the things that go along with that. So, we've talked about wishing somebody shalom and greeting or when you leave them, it's more than just hi or goodbye. Well, Jesus, at one of the feasts in Jerusalem, now this comes in John chapter 8, right after the woman caught in adultery. Probably a misplaced story, that story of the woman, just a correct story, but in the wrong place. Anyway, he's at one of the feast days, and he had just talked about being living water. And then verse 12 of chapter 8 says, Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And I love this. He's the light of the world. And how beautiful that is. When you think about what was going on, you think about Hanukkah, you think about this time of year, and you think about the great menorah that stood in the Temple Mount structure and how huge it was, and the story behind that with Purim and Hanukkah and some of the things that just were going on as far as light of the world goes. And Jesus stands up and says, I am the light of the world. Well, that catches people off guard. They look at him like, what in the world do you mean? And we look at that and we think, okay, so what does that mean? And I think about shalom. And one of the things he says, anyone, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. Well, it's interesting. Whoever follows me is, the way to define that word is somebody who follows a leader. A disciple is a good way of looking at it. So somebody who is committed to being with Christ, behind him because he's the leader, but going where he goes. He says that person will not walk in darkness. Well, that word darkness, there is a definite article in front of it. And in what I understand to be the original construction of this in Greek is the darkness. It won't walk in the darkness. Well, you do a little bit of research on that, and the darkness has more to do with actually following in the deeds of the dark one or the devil or his imps or the dark world, the demonic world. And so many people who let's use the word shalom again, aren't walking in a place of peace, aren't walking in a place of light either. Look at this dark world. And what I mean by that is, look, this demonic world, the crazy things that are going on, the things that people are ascribing to natural life and how they're changing the God-given order, and they're changing the way he is to be worshiped, and they disregard him. And you think about the darkness that encroaches upon us. And Jesus says, if you would be a follower of me. See, one of the things that confuses me, that I look out and I think, how do people get where they're at? Let me back it up a little bit. They're not disciples. They're not following after Jesus. They're not trying to be like him. They're not letting him be their master and their guide. They want to make the rules. Sounds like the Garden of Eden where the serpent first shows up, right? That creature that showed up in the Garden of Eden and said, hey, God's keeping good stuff from you. He knows that if you eat this, you will be like God, knowing good from evil. And they fail. And darkness has been part of the human path ever since. So here at this time of the season, this Christmas season, and we think about the Advent, the birth, but it says that he came into the world, into darkness, and darkness could not overcome. See, the light has come into the world, we're told, and darkness could not overcome it. Jesus is the light. In other words, walking with him does not just provide something that you can see. It actually changes the realm in which you walk. There's the realm of darkness and there's the realm of light. It's less about doing good stuff or doing bad stuff. It's more about what realm you walk in. And those that walk in the light walk in shalom, in God's realm, forever to be protected and watched over by him. So I want to ask you, who do you follow today? I mean, who do you follow? Not who do you name? Who do you follow? Who do you imitate? Who are you like in life? Only you can answer that question. Well, I'm Pastor Rusty. I'll talk to you later.